Welcome to EPG Pathshala. Dear students, today we are going to discuss on urban waste as a source of energy. Urbanization plays an important role in increasing the rate of waste generation. If you compare the cities and villages with respect to this waste generation, we can see that in cities the waste generation is much more than that of the rural villages. This may be because of the increase in the population as well as the change in their lifestyles. Urban waste includes the domestic waste, or you can say it as MSW, which is municipal solid waste. It also contains the industrial waste related with the industries in the cities, but mainly urban waste is synonym to municipal solid waste. The current collection as well as management of this urban waste is not proper. It has to be managed so that the power can be harnessed. The power potential of the waste is very high compared to the loss of the waste or the disposal at the site. In this module, we will be discussing on briefly the classification and composition of urban waste. What is the importance of urban waste mainly in energy context? We will see the power generation potential with respect to Indian context. We will also see the methods, what are the methods used to harness this energy by various methods like thermal treatment, which includes the incineration, pyrolysis and gasification. Here we will focus on RDF also, that is refuse derived fuel, syngas, biochar, etc. We will also see the biomethanation and other landfill recovery from the waste. The urban waste generation is due to rapid urbanization, increase in the rate of population growth, increase in the income and change in lifestyle. All these increase the rate of waste generation in the cities. Every year, around 55 million tons of municipal solid waste and 38 billion liters of sewage are generated in urban areas of India. In addition, large quantities of solid and liquid waste are also generated by the industries. If you see this table, you can see that the population is increasing over the years and correspondingly the per capita waste generation is also increasing, leading to the increase in the total waste generation. If you compare the countries and the waste generation, we can see that depending upon their income, we divide the countries into low income, middle income and high income groups. Whatever the group they belong, all these produce the waste. You can see that as the income increases, or you can say the developed countries produces more waste than the low income or the developing countries. Over the years, or if you see, if the time passes, the waste generation also increase. It may be because of the increase in the population and in the change in lifestyle. Let us see the classification of urban waste. It has two parts, organic fraction and inorganic fraction. Organic fractions are biodegradable fraction, while inorganic fraction is non-biodegradable. Again, this organic fraction can be biodegradable as well as recyclable. While inorganic fraction are non-biodegradable, it has two parts, recyclable as well as non-recyclable. Biodegradable organic fractions includes food waste, kitchen waste, fruit waste, garden waste, agro waste, cloth, textiles, leather material, papers, etc. While recyclable, this papers it comes under biodegradable as well as recyclable part. In inorganic fraction, which is recyclable, are the plastic and glassware, metals, etc. While non-recyclable includes sand, stone, that are earthen pots, plaster of Paris materials, etc. So, urban waste is used as a synonym to municipal solid waste, because the major part of the urban waste is MSW, which is the municipal solid waste. It is composed of organic and inorganic fraction, and we have seen it is biodegradable and non-biodegradable fraction is present in it, and we have seen this thing. Let us see the composition of urban waste. The major part is organic, which includes food scraps, yards including the leaves, grass, brush waste, wood, processed residues, etc., and it is around 35 to 60% of its total. The next group is paper, which accounts 5 to 12%. It includes paper scraps, cardboard, newspapers, magazines, bags, boxes, wrapping paper, telephone books, shredded paper, paper beverage cups. This paper is organic in nature, but if it is contaminated by the food residues, it is not classified as organic. Then another part is the plastic, which includes bottle, packaging containers, bags, lids, cups, etc., which is around 4 to 13%. Glass also includes bottles, broken glasswares, light bulbs, colored glass, which is around 2 to 4%. Metals like cans, foil, tins, non-hazardous aerosol cans, appliances, railings, bicycles, etc., 1 to 2%. And others includes textile, leather, rubber, multi-laminates, e-waste, appliances, ash and other inert materials includes the 1 to 4% or the rest of the material. The major part is the organic fraction, which includes around 50 to 60%. Waste generation in urban India. As per 2011 census, this urban population accounts 31% of total population and it is around 31% of total population. The waste generation in urban India is around 1,88,500 tons per day. This is tons per day is also known as TPD. The average waste generation per person per day is 0.5 kilogram, ranging from 300 to 600 gram per person per day. Urban waste is responsible for all kinds of pollution, including the air pollution, water pollution and soil pollution. Dump sites are the major source of the emission of carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, methane, hydrogen sulfide and nitrous oxide, greenhouse gases which are related with the global warming and other climate change. In turn, this pollution also affects the health of the human being as well as the animals. So, there is a need to manage the urban waste. Presently, the urban waste is collected either by the community bin system like RCC bins, masonry bins, metallic container and plastic containers are used. House to house collection may be followed, street sweeping etc. are used for the collection of this waste. After the collection, it is transported to the dump site mainly by the open body trucks of 5 to 9 ton capacity. Then it is getting segregated. The segregation of waste is a complicated process and it requires high manpower. Finally, dumping of the urban waste. These are dumped in low-lying areas outside the city and covered with soil and finally compacted by the use of bulldozers. The major cities of India, the waste is disposed of by deposition in these low-lying areas and uncontrolled landfilling is practiced. Now, what is the importance of this urban waste? According to estimates, about 1% of urban population, at least 15 million people, survives by salvaging recyclables from waste in the developing world or developing countries like India. The importance of this waste is not limited to only recyclable material. Recyclable materials includes paper, metal, plastics, but also it has importance in its utilization of organic fraction for different uses. The organic fraction of urban waste is nearly 30 to 45% or sometimes it is much more around 60%. It has a potential to produce the energy. It can be used as a soil conditioner. It can be used as a nutrient rich manure or compost. It is also useful for biogas generation in various dump sites. Many of the municipalities started composting of organic waste. Let us see the hierarchy of waste management. The management includes mainly, you can see it is avoid, reuse, recycle, then waste to energy and disposal. Final is the disposal. Here the management includes mainly the recovery and recycling. Recovery means the material recovery relies on recovering usable or recyclable items from the waste such that they can be used again in their similar forms. And waste to energy, it means the process in which the energy is used, energy that was used in the production is recovered by different means. Since all energy cannot be recovered, material recovery is normally followed by the energy recovery. According to Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, there exists a potential of about 1700 megawatt from urban waste. It consists of 1500 from MSW and 225 megawatt from sewage, and about 1300 megawatt from industrial waste generated in the cities. The power generation potential from the waste. You can see that over the period from 2002 to 2017, the MSW, the generation of municipal solid waste ton per day is increasing. Correspondingly, this can be harnessed for the power. You can see the potential for energy generation from MSW in comparison to fossil fuel displacement in major cities of India. Cities like New Delhi, Kolkata, Mumbai, Nagpur, Hyderabad and Chennai. You can see that they have high generation of MSW which are having high calorific value that can be used for the power production, that has the potential of power production, which can be substituted for coal. So, the standard methods for managing the municipal waste or the urban waste are composting, but it does not produce any energy; incineration, it produces energy; recovery or recycling, it produces energy either in the form of RDF or by methanation, it produces the biogas, and other methods are there. Then landfilling, these are the standard methods which are followed in the management of municipal solid waste. Let us see the material management from the life cycle analysis. You can see that in the life cycle stage, it undergoes various processes. If you are dumping simply like that, it leads to the greenhouse gas emissions. Then you can use that, the recycling, it reduces the fossil fuel use as well as increase the carbon sequestration. In the case of waste management, you can see there, especially for the energy purpose, you can see that composting leads to carbon dioxide emission, but there is carbon storage in the soil, that is, it is used as a compost or to increase the or improve the soil fertility. In the case of combustion, it releases some oxides, NOx as well as carbon dioxide, but it reduces. Here the combustion, it avoids the, it is the fossil fuel use is not avoided here. In the case of landfill, it also directly leads to the methane production and also it will not reduce the fossil fuel use. So, the general practices which we are using for managing this municipal solid waste are inadequate or improper to harness the energy. There are different methods of waste management and energy recovery techniques. They include advanced thermal treatment, the anaerobic digestion and landfill recovery, landfill gas recovery. Here in advanced thermal treatment is the production of electricity or heat by the thermal treatment, decomposition of waste and subsequent use of secondary products. Anaerobic digestion is the production of energy from the degradation of the organic material into biogas which is produced and used for the other purpose. Landfill, the production of electricity from the combustion of landfill gas produced as biodegradable waste decomposes. Let us see the thermal treatment in detail. The thermal treatment include incineration, pyrolysis or gasification. Incineration is the combustion process. The process where municipal solid waste or the urban waste is combusted and the energy is recovered is known as incineration. The refuse is dumped into a combustion chamber and there it is burnt in condition with sufficient quantity of oxygen to completely oxidize the fuel. The temperature above 850 degrees centigrade completely converts the combustible fraction of waste into carbon dioxide and water. The non-combustible materials like metal, glass or stones remain as solid. The residue in the incinerator is known as the incinerator bottom ash. So, the incinerator in which incineration occurs is known as incinerator. If MSW is used, it is known as MSW incinerator, MSWI. So, in excess of air, this is getting combusted and you can see in this chart, you can see in this diagram that the energy is harnessed and it is used further for the heat and electricity production, while the bottom ash is produced during the incineration process and metal and materials are recovered and recycled. Here heat and electricity production, you can see the fly ash is produced and that can also be used, that can also processed and enter into the landfilling site. The incineration reduces disposal space by a factor of 4 to 10 compared to landfills, because it gets combusted and the volume is reduced. But the emission of various toxic chemicals like acid gases, heavy metals, polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons, polychlorinated biphenyls, polychlorinated dibenzodioxins and dibenzofurans is major demerit of this treatment. Landfill capture, combustion, pyrolysis, gasification and plasma arc gasification are the advanced techniques which can be used for energy generation, much cleaner and much economical. So, let us see what is pyrolysis or how the pyrolysis is able to harness energy from the urban waste. The process involving thermal treatment of waste in the absence of oxygen, that is in an inert environment, is known as pyrolysis. Here the temperature is between 300 to 850 degrees Celsius and the main products are bio oil, biochar and pyrolytic gas. The bio oil is the condensable fraction. So, by the pyrolysis gas, which is a mixture of gases, combustible constituents includes the carbon monoxide, hydrogen and methane, and the condensable oils, which is the bio oil, waxes and tars, as well as some biochar, which is the non-combustible material, with solid material also produced by this process. An important aspect is the biochar. Biochar is produced by the pyrolysis of the biomass in a low or no oxygen condition, which prevents complete combustion. The relative products from the pyrolysis varies with temperature, like depends upon the temperature and time. There are 3 types of pyrolysis: fast, intermediate and slow pyrolysis. Mainly the slow pyrolysis leads to the biochar production. Urban waste is an ideal substrate for biochar production because it contains high organic material. It has the biochar produced from this urban waste has applications such as high energy containing product. Nearly it has high energy contained product. It is around 35 kilojoule per gram. It helps in the ecological restoration. It can be used as a soil amendment. It can be a carbon sink and it improves the soil fertility and productivity. The next is RDF, refuse derived fuel. The fuel produced from combustible waste is known as refuse derived fuel. It refers to the segregated high calorific fraction of processed municipal solid waste. It is defined as the final product from waste material which have been processed to fulfill guidelines, regulatory or industry specifications, mainly to achieve a high calorific value to be useful as secondary substitute fuels, substitute fuels in the solid fuel industry. The non-combustible materials like recyclables and inerts are removed prior to processing to RDF. The energy in RDF from municipal solid waste is the energy content of plastics, dried biodegradable materials and textiles, which are the organic fraction of the waste. The energy content in RDF from MSW is higher than that of the raw MSW. It is around 17 megajoule per kilogram against the 9 to 11 megajoule per kilogram from the raw municipal solid waste. The most important property of RDF is that unlike coal, it can be derived and manufactured. That means, we can produce RDF. It is renewable and it is mainly used as a substitute to coal in high energy industrial processes like power production, cement kilns and steel manufacture. Now we will see gasification process. The gasification of municipal solid waste takes place in presence of air or oxygen, but here the amount of oxygen is insufficient for complete oxidation. The gasification normally takes place at a higher temperature. The heat required is comparatively lower and it is needed only to initiate and sustain the process. The major product of this process is syngas, which contains carbon monoxide, hydrogen and methane along with the solid residue of non-combustible material, which is ash. The net calorific value of syngas generated is around 4 to 10 megajoule per Newton cubic meter. Syngas is an important product generated from the waste. The production of syngas from urban waste by pyrolysis and also mainly by the gasification is carried out under catalyst, mainly dolomite, at temperature range 750 to 900 degrees Celsius. This is advantages of incineration of urban waste, as the incineration causes production of harmful emissions, while it is prevented in the syngas production. Another product by the thermal treatment is energy bricks. Segregated organic fraction is compressed in the form of brick with the help of pressure machine. The organic waste bricks are used for burning purpose in electricity generation instead of coal. It is very easy to handle, store and transport. But the major drawback is it requires energy for preparation of brick, and it has low heating value compared to coal. Let us see what is the heating value of waste. The heating value of waste is directly proportional to the carbon content of the waste and inversely proportional to the ash and moisture content. It can be calculated by using DeLong's formula. Heating value in kilojoule per kilogram is equal to 33,801 C plus 1,44,158 H minus 0.125 multiplied by oxygen plus 9,413 multiplied by sulfur, where here the CHOS are compositions of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen and sulfur on dry basis. Later this is modified into 337 into C plus 1,419 multiplied by hydrogen minus 0.125 oxygen plus 93 sulfur plus 23 nitrogen. The energy content in municipal solid waste is defined by Kahn et al. In 1991. As per their equation, the energy content in megajoule per kilogram is equal to 0.051 multiplied by F plus 3.6 Cp plus 0.352 PLR, where E is the energy content, the F is the percentage weight of food in the waste, Cp is the percentage weight of the cardboard and paper, and PLR is the percentage of plastic, leather and rubber. Let us calculate the energy content using this Kahn equation for MSW having the following properties. You can see in this table the component and the dry weight basis weight is given. The paper product is 23%, plastic 13%, glass 12%, metal 3%, food waste 19%, textile 16%, miscellaneous 14%. Together it is 100. So, let us start the solving the problem. You can see as per the equation E is equal to 0.051 multiplied by F plus 3.6 Cp, then plus it is added to 0.352 PLR. So, F content is, that is a food waste is 19%. So, you multiply 0.051 multiplied by 19 plus 3.6 into 23. 23 is the paper products weight. It is added to the 0.352 multiplied by 13, which is the plastic. So, if you solve this, you will get 9.77 megajoule per kilogram. By this way, we can find out if we know the fraction of the components in the urban waste or the municipal solid waste, you can calculate the energy content of that waste. The bioenergy from this urban waste is also produced by biochemical conversion like biomethanation. It can be used for the production of biomethane, ethanol and biohydrogen. Biomethanation is the anaerobic digestion of organic material to methane and manure. Urban waste with organic matter can be used for biogas production. So, biogas is a mixture of methane and carbon dioxide, and the methane content of this is used as a fuel, which help with directly or with the help of generator, it can be converted to electricity on site. And the liquid slurry which is formed or the sludge which is formed after this biomethanation are important organic manure. Another one is landfill gas recovery. The waste dumped in a landfill is under anaerobic conditions, and as a result its organic fraction slowly volatilizes and decomposes, leading to production of landfill gas. This contains a high percentage of methane, about 50%, and it can be used as a source of energy either for direct heating, cooking applications or to generate power through IC engines or turbines. This graph shows the landfill gas production as a function of time. You can see what happens over the time. Here the anoxic condition, first nitrogen gets reduced, oxygen gets reduced, hydrogen is also produced production increase, then it reduces. The methane content, after a few period of time, the anaerobic hydrolysis occurs and methane anaerobic hydrolysis occurs, leading hydrolysis, acidogenesis and methanogenesis, and finally the methane is produced. Let us compare the basic techniques of energy recovery from the waste. It is by thermal conversion, biochemical conversion, thermochemical conversion. Here the thermal conversion, which is mainly based on the incineration. Here the thermal degradation of waste at high temperature occurs. The complete oxidation of waste matter under high temperature and aerated condition. The end products include steam, purified flue gas and ash. The biochemical conversion, here it includes the biomethanation, anaerobic digestion and fermentation. Here the enzymatic decomposition of organic matter by microbial action to produce methane and alcohol happens. This process is suitable for wastes which are having high percentage of organic biodegradable matter and high level of moisture or water content. The thermochemical conversion, which mainly includes the pyrolysis and gasification. The high temperature driven decomposition of organic matter produce heat of fuel, oil or gas. These are suitable for waste containing high percentage of organic non-biodegradable matter and low moisture content. The end products are used for the heat application or further processed chemically to produce a range of chemicals. Apart from these process or the conversion routes, there are electrochemical conversion routes which is under nascent. It includes mainly the MFCs, this is microbial fuel cell, which can be run on the urban waste as a substrate. This table shows the waste to energy techniques practiced in major cities in India. Here, apart from Kolkata and Chennai, the other cities like Mumbai, New Delhi, Chandigarh, Pune, they are using or they are at least some amount of the municipal solid waste are used for the energy production, either as RDF or the waste to energy process, as well as biomethanation are used as a technology to harness the energy from the urban waste. This flow chart shows the municipal solid waste for resource recovery and recycling. So, the municipal solid waste after generated gets collected. So, either it can be collected in the mixed form or separate collectors are used. So, in separate way they can be collected. Then it is transported. Then once it is transported, it is undergoing the different treatment process. It can undergo the thermal treatment or the mechanical or biological treatment. So, the RDF is produced by this and it can be used as energy, or the other various thermal treatment products like syngas, bio-oil, biochar are produced in this process. And finally, the ash is added to the landfill. Similarly, after biological treatment, the main energy source is the methane is produced and the rest, the residues are added to the landfill, while the materials like glass, metals are recovered. So, there is material reclamation or recovery facilities also there before adding to the thermal treatment. Here the paper and plastic is also used for recycling, or it can also be used for the energy production. Waste to energy combustion is the mechanism which involves thermal breakdown of municipal solid waste through controlled combustion process. The waste is reduced into ash, which further used to generate electricity, steam or other forms of energy. It differs from the RDF generation is that the objective of waste to energy combustion is volume reduction of the waste rather than the production of energy. The energy generated at the end of this process gives additional benefits that adds value to this process. Most of the waste generated in India is organic and around 10% it is paper. So, it is commonly known as a renewable, and it is W2E. It is also known as WTE or W2E, that is waste to energy, and so it is recognized as a renewable source of energy. Government, with the help of Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, is taking initiative to make this W2E, that is waste to energy, a more common practice in India. Small scale projects are successful in this WTE process. One of the successful story is from the Thiruvananthapuram in Kerala. 20,000 household biogas units installed by Biotech, a biogas technology company from Thiruvananthapuram, Kerala. They were able to divert about 2.5% of organic waste from landfill. By this process, they save up to $4.5 million to Trivandrum and Cochin, this corporations every year in transportation cost. These biogas units also avoid around 7,000 tons of carbon dioxide equivalent emissions every year. But commonly failures in these WTE projects are reported. A WTE project in 1980, a large scale biomethanation project and 2 RDO projects in 2003 have failed. Why these failures happen? What are the reasons for this? The possible reasons are, it may be improper segregation. India lacks a source separated waste stream. The organic waste is normally mixed with the other 2 types. Hence, operations of these WTE techniques are hindered and a lack of smoothness causes attempts to be short lived. Because of this, a biomethanation plant built in Lucknow to generate 6 megawatt of electricity failed to run. Another reason is logistical error. Mainly, these plants are built on technology basis. These are not experimentally proven. These plants are designed for handling more waste than they can equate, and local conditions are not considered while importing the plant technology. So, later on these plants are failed to run or maintain their operation. Another possible reason is lack of funds. There has been no allocation of funds for plant maintenance, thereby creating grounds for their wreckage. Government, with the help of MNRE, is taking initiative to make this waste to energy a common practice in India, and this table shows the installed capacity of waste to energy as well as waste to power generation from the urban waste. So, we have seen urban waste as a source of energy which are having high potential. This waste consists of biodegradable or non-biodegradable part, recyclable and non-recyclable part, and how these components have to be harnessed for the energy generation. We have seen the composition of the major solid waste generated in the cities, and it is commonly known as municipal solid waste, abbreviated as MSW. We have seen different methods like thermal method, incineration, pyrolysis, gasification. Major one, incineration, has its own limitation, and it produces mainly the heat energy which is used for the further applications. In pyrolysis, the major product is the fuel, is bio oil, and we have seen that RDF, that is refuse derived fuel, can be produced from it. And in the gasification, syngas is the major product. And we have also seen the biochemical process includes the biomethanation and landfill recovery. Biomethanation is mainly meant with the biogas production. In the landfill recovery is also mainly dealing with the methane harnessing. We have seen how waste to energy conversion occurs, and waste to energy conversion projects in India. What is its potential? What are the installed capacity of it? And we have seen that some small scale projects are successful, but the bigger ones are at the failure. And we have seen what are the reasons, possible reasons for this failure. Thank you.